Hello everybody, and welcome to Game 2 in this best of 5 series between mtwDIMAGA, spawning as the red Zerg, and his opponent, the spawning as the green Protoss, Mouz Mana. This is the grand finals for the Assembly Summer 2011 tournament, invitational tournament, and they will be spawning and battling on Tal'darim Alter LE, a community-made map that has found its way into the Blizzard ladder pool. Excellently made map, tending to favor more macro-style play. Players like to very quickly go for their expansions, go for large, longer-scale games. There's less emphasis on one base play or very early aggression that tries to shut down the game before it gets to the mid or late stage. And as we can see, Mana is already placing down his first pylon and scouting with an extremely early probe. He wants to know exactly where DIMAGA is, what he's doing, and luckily for him, he's not going to be wasting any time. He's scouted in the right direction. He's going to find exactly what DIMAGA's up to, which for the moment is not very much. He is simply droning up. And Mana gets a full scout on that and decides to book it on out of there and patrol around the natural expansion for DIMAGA. So he's going to be immediately alerted and able to block any quick hatchery play by DIMAGA. Back at Mana's base, he's past 200 minerals, so he hasn't placed down any forges yet. We can only assume he's going to go for a Nexus first, a very risky play, but could pay off huge dividends in order to get a macro advantage on his Zerg opponent right away. And we see here moving towards 400 minerals, and yes, there goes the Nexus. So Mana's going to go with Nexus first, and I can almost certainly guess that he's going to be going with a forge after that in order to try to turn his front door, make it a little bit safer, a little bit less prone to Zergling run-bys. In the meantime, back at DIMAGA's base, we have his gas already up. We have his spawning pool almost finished, which is going to allow him to get very quick Queen, Zerglings, and Zergling speed. The combination of those allows him for a safe expansion without any real delay. And Mana, noticing that his DIMAGA's hatchery hasn't come down yet, wants to go in and check out what's going on, sees exactly what's happening, is chasing this drone. He's going to try to stop this drone from establishing a hatchery before it's too late. And DIMAGA is actually spending the resources he would on a hatchery because he knows that a block is probably going to come down. Excellent play done by DIMAGA, wasting no resources. And he's going to use these Zerglings to knock down the pylon, which gets canceled for the refund of 75 minerals, and place down his hatchery right away. So DIMAGA not too far behind his opponent, but Mana is definitely going to be doing very well for himself, having established his Nexus before DIMAGA was even able to get his hatchery down. And over here we have DIMAGA's Overlord placed perfectly. Mana can't even see that there is an Overlord there, and he's using this gateway to do a full wall off while he waits for this cannon to assemble itself, warp in from Ire, and the cannon is down, the Zerglings are stopped, this wall off is going to be destroyed and replaced with a less complete wall off, but with just a single unit of space here for a probe or a zealot to hang out in and prevent Zerglings from running in, while a cannon would do most of the protection. And DIMAGA, for his part, has excellent placement on his Overlord. He's going to be able to see the front door completely. He'll know exactly what tech is laid down here, and more importantly, when Mana moves out and what his army composition is going to be. For the moment, the Zerglings are heading out outside the base. They're speedlings now. They'll be able to chase down any probes they see, and they're even going to go after this Zealot. But the Zealot takes a little bit of shield damage, a couple swipes at the Zerglings, decides to fall back to the safe of this cannon, is not interested in sacrificing himself for the Protoss quite yet. DIMAGA, for his part, taking this Xel'Naga watchtower and also taking over a third base. Interesting play and good response to his opponent taking this very fast base. Instead of using Zerglings to break down these rocks at what would be his natural third expansion, he's decided to take this long way around expansion over here. And this is an excellent play for a couple of different reasons. If Mana decides to try to attack this base, but oh, hold on, we have a little bit of a skirmish here if he has on the watchtower. We have Zerglings getting killed, taking out the Zealot, and getting control back again. But as I was saying, if Mana were to attack this hatchery, DIMAGA could counterattack very quickly with this short running distance and go into his front door while using this expansion basically as bait. But we'll see if that occurs. For the moment, we have a transition for Mana into air tech. He's looking to pick Chrono Boost some Void Rays or some Phoenixes out. He wants to get air control of this map. He wants to go and harass. He wants to pick off a queen. He wants to pick up a tech structure, a drone. He's interested in just putting DIMAGA on the back foot economically and gaining control. Again, this Void Ray is also going to be able to take over any Zerglings, kill any Zerglings that are at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, which is an extremely important step on any map. Gaining control of the towers, gaining vision of your opponent's army when they move out, and the Zergling did not last very long at all. Completely lasered down. And we have DIMAGA saturating up this base very quickly. He's going to want to get as much value out of his expansion as he can, considering it's in a relatively unsafe position. He's not sure how long it will last once Mana discovers it, but for the moment he has no idea it's even there. He's going instead to harass this natural expansion and driven away by spore crawlers and queens. And while that's happening, DIMAGA is breaking down these rocks with his Zerglings to try to take his fourth base very quickly. And Mana has seen the creep for this third base, and he's placing down a proxy pylon in order to warp in some units to harass it, I would imagine. As it is, we have DIMAGA here spreading out his creep, but a little bit bad timing. The Void Ray is going to take out one creep tumor, and he's going to get the other creep tumor as well. So there's only two active creep tumors for DIMAGA right now. Definitely going to put a damper in his plans to extend the creep around and gain sight and movement speed bonus. Here we are, the Phoenixes harassing again. The Spore Crawler is doing a lot of damage, and the third queen pops out. I don't think that Mana's going to stick around. This Void Ray might actually go down, but no. The Phoenixes lift up the queens for a split second, allowing the Void Ray enough time to get away, and the queens are rapidly running out of creep to run on. And during this time, as the air army runs away, a ground army of Zealots is running in, going to do a lot of damage to this hatchery. And now going after the drones and the queens. Zealots are big, beefy units with a lot of damage output. Maybe they'll take down those queens and the drones, no problem. They have a lot of Zerglings, but these Zealots are already upgraded with +1 ground attack, which allows them to two-shot the Zerglings instead of three-shotting them, giving the Zerglings much less combat effectiveness. But roaches are here now, despite being lifted and harassed by this Void Ray. These roaches may be able to clean up the rest of these Zealots. I'm not too sure. With the air support and these Zealots chasing around, a lot of these roaches are in the yellow and the orange and the red, and it looks like they're going to get away. This Void Ray, Void Ray takes out the two roaches. Very impressive. The roaches run a little bit too close to the Void Ray and not close enough to the Spore Crawler, and at the moment the Void Ray is focusing down this hatchery, going to try to finish it off, and there's more Zealots coming in. Phoenix is supporting them, looking for the roaches, attacking them, and cutting down the numbers that can attack the Zealots at the same time. There comes more Zerglings to soak up some Zealot damage. Roaches going to town on these two Zealots, but just not quite enough. And we have Queens coming in, doing some damage to those Phoenixes, and more Zerglings, but this hatchery goes down. Broodlings eventually take out the Zealots. And this Void Ray, which has been so effective, is now going after the Infestation Pit. Luckily for DIMAGA, pathogen glands have already been researched, so any infestations that pop out are going to come with that extra energy for instant fungal growth. And this Void Ray is in a good spot, but still within range of these queens, scooting out of the way into this perfect little spot here. Queens can't reach it, and we have one queen on this side, and it's finally going to do some damage. The Void Ray might grow down with 1 hit point. Is he going to get away? Excellent control by Mana. This Void Ray escapes, and in the meantime, he's decided to try to take his third base, but DIMAGA is looking for revenge for his downed hatchery. He is not aware of a nexus here, but he can probably assume that Mana's going to want to take his third base right about this time, and now the Zerglings are running in, the Roaches are running in, getting over, getting a big surround. The Force was coming out, but not quite fast enough. The Zerglings get a perfect surround on these Stalkers, on these Sentries, completely crush them down, and this Nexus is totally exposed, going to be taken down by these Roaches and Zerglings but no, instead DIMAGA decides to attack the front door. He thinks he can push in and either do a lot of damage or maybe win the game, but a couple of Archons back here, both from these Tal'darim are going to hold this front door. Here comes the Void Ray, more Stalkers warping in, and between this Void Ray, these Archons and these Stalkers, I think that Mana's going to be able to hold this front door. Archons do an enormous amount of damage to every Zerg unit. Since they're all biological, they do 39 damage to them all with splash damage. They're extremely effective versus Zerglings. And we have this hero Void Ray getting taken down by a fungal growth from these infestors. And for the moment, this sieged Nexus was not canceled. DIMAGA let it live, basically, and we'll see how that impacts the rest of the game. For the moment, DIMAGA has been spotted by this observer, shuffling in some more units, and this, I heard a sound of an Overlord getting popped, so I bet it was this Overlord over here that's been spying for DIMAGA all game, and these Roaches and Zerglings are circling around for an attack from the top, and leaving a couple of horses over here for potentially a pincer attack. So we have Infestors here, not quite enough energy for fungal growths. Looks like they're going to stay back and actually get harassed by the Phoenixes. And in the meantime, we have Roaches and Zerglings attacking into this army of Stalkers, Immortal, and a couple of Archons. And this side of the attack is getting completely cleaned up, which now leaves the other side of the Protoss army to destroy this section of Roaches. And these Queens are running for their lives, running as quickly as they can, but off the creep. It is not very fast. And these infestors are kind of forgotten at the moment, but nope, getting lifted up, and little fungal growth and infested Terrans, but I expect that these Phoenixes are going to do just fine. These poor infestors are not going to survive. So unfortunately, not enough energy for the infestors to make much of an impact in that battle. DIMAGA forced to fall back to this mid position, taking control of the Xel'Naga Watchtower, going towards a Spire Tech. He is potentially going to upgrade towards Hive and a Broodlord, but he might be interested in simply nullifying Mana's air advantage that has been keeping him in this game so strongly. With those Void Rays and those Phoenixes, a couple of Cruckers would definitely do a lot to take care of that air presence. And now we have Mana deciding to press his advantage, taking a fourth base under the cover of this aggression, moving in, pushing DIMAGA right to the front of his own base, taking down these creep tumors. He wants to wait and receive this creep. He wants to remove the movement speed advantage and the sight advantage of the Zerg player. And we still have this pylon up here, warping in Zealots. We'll see what they end up doing. Looks like they're going to be running into this base again for more harassment. Only a Spore Crawler and some Queen and a Queen over here. The Zealots are chasing the Queen. Queen getting Mike a little bit. A couple of Zerglings coming up to take care of these Zealots, and in the meantime, a little bit of a skirmish to the front here, a little bit of pot shots, and this Zealot harassment has definitely been cleaned up. Mana is reinforcing with some more of his units, and DIMAGA realizes that there must be a pylon nearby, sending out Zerglings to find it and destroy it. And now we have Phoenixes going up here, checking out the top here, going to see what's going on. And a couple of infestors coming to take care of those. Nice little fungal growth, stopping them down. But Templars coming in here. Are we going to see? Yes, big feedbacks, crushing those infestors, popping two of them. They had almost full energy. And these other infestors don't have enough for fungal growth. And Mana's using this moment to push in. DIMAGA pretty much only has Zerglings and a couple of Roaches to defend this attack. Lots of Stalkers taking a lot of damage, but good blinks getting them out of the way. Archons just completely annihilating all these Zerglings with their splash damage and their 43 damage to biological Zerg units. These Archons are just completely decimating that Zergling army. And now we have a couple of infestors left, throwing down fungal growths. Gonna pop a couple of Stalkers and more Zergling reinforcements. We have 10 infestors being morphed in for DIMAGA. I'm not sure if they're gonna make it in time, and they spawn in just the worst spot imaginable, and DIMAGA decides to GG out of this game. Excellent play by both players. A little bit too much of aggression, good timing for Mana. All around, good game. See you next time.